I'm going to try to articulate this the best way I can, because truth is no doubt stranger than fiction. The problem with most people is that they don't understand that things have a way of being and not being, that whole idea of duality. Now, I just put these simple little fact and fic, F-A-C and F-I-C. Now we think fact and fiction. Like fact means that it's true. Fiction means that it's false. Is that so? So the word fiction may be the form, familiar, or force identified in unseen concept plus identified ongoing notion. Fact may be form, force, or familiarity active as its concept, unseen concept, but it's active now. Plus, so when you see something being activated, it's the word act with the F in front of it. We say F with I-C-T-I-O-N or anything after the F and you have I-C. It's the identified concept. Identified when it's outward from yourself means I'm only identifying it. I haven't seen it in the act. Okay? So when somebody else tells you a story and you weren't there to see it and it's their fact, you can think it's fiction. So I'm just trying to show you that this doesn't always necessarily mean something's true, and this doesn't always necessarily mean something's false. Because if something is terrific, does it mean it's not real? Does it, in some way, it's a moment in time that you're experiencing, and you think it's terrific. You think it's great. So that kind of stuff, like, is something I want to separate by talking about this, because these things are going to be so hard for some people to understand that we've given away our own individual creativity in many aspects. When we think of the word artifact, okay, artifact means it's the active reference plus identified form active concept plus. Now when we say artificial or artifice, there's different ways to say it. A-R-T-I-F-I-C-E, just like the word sacrifice. When you give up something, when you make something in an artificial way, an artifice can be trickery and deception. It could also be skill and ingenuity. Now it's both, just like my story to me is true. And when I speak it out to other people, it's true. But to them, they may not understand it or want to understand it or want to believe it, and they think it's fiction. But that's not the case. What I'm telling people is literal and real. So when we have made artificial intelligence to the point that it's at, it doesn't mean that it's not real intelligence, because now it's creating other people. We have people that are more interested in sitting there and being happy because they got to, get some endorphins through their system because somebody liked something or they saw something fun or they're playing a game and they got to the next level. And, these little tiny mental rewards that they're getting make them forget about something that's going on out there. Now, there is a real world out there, believe it or not. This isn't just a simulation. I can feel this pinch. Can you feel? Can you feel things? Can you think things? Because if you can, you need to start thinking and feeling a little bit more about what's out there, not what's being watched. Even though you may be seeing this on your phone or on a computer, how else am I supposed to get it to you? I keep telling people we need to come together in person, because as hard as this may be to believe, the way that artificial intelligence is set up now, more people are wanting only what they want and to block out anything that disagrees with what they think, whether it's real or not real, or it's the truth or not the truth. You can't make up the truth. There's people out there who would rather set algorithms to track and flag things that are speaking of love and of true things that mean that they care. Like people talking out against what's going wrong are being blocked because the people that are doing the wrong happen to be in control now. And nobody wants to admit that on such a level. People are like, yeah, it's bad out there. These people they're really running our lives into the ground. I was like, then why are we letting them? And it's not because we want to just go get up in arms and go battle it out. Because there are more people who can come together out of love and out of care to fix this without having to kill or hurt or harm anybody. But the problem is nobody is willing to do that in a mass group, to the point where just as an individual, you think, well, what can I do? I feel so bombarded at every angle. I mean, I'm sure that every single one of us feels like we're bombarded on all sides sometimes. And you know what that really is? It's not the stress of your job. It's not the problems going on in the world. It's the realization that there's a spirit in here, or there's a livingness within you that is just knowing that things are going wrong out there and you don't know what to do about it. I'm telling you right now that it's not about me at all. But my message that I'm sharing is beyond the councils of nine and Thoth and even Christ and the stories that we hear about them. Now, those things are real inwardly. And we have 100,000 versions of things that are fictitious outwardly. That's the issue. The Bible is real. The Bhagavad Gita is real. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is real. My diary would be real. Everything you've seen on TV is real because you looked at it and saw it, and you saw it in a form active. You saw it. So you're like, oh, it's a fact. Have you seen the movie, blah, blah, blah? Yeah. Does that make the movie real? No. Does it make that possibility, that story, to appear to be a real thing or a creation that you could mimic? Yeah, of course. So what is going on now is we've given our creativity to something that is fake or artificial, that is skillful and ingenuitive, and at the same time can be full of trickery, to give you what you want. And it's not about getting what you want here. It's about seeing what is needed to be done and applying yourself to that. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you feel what I'm saying? That's why it's important. Because we are at the point where unless we get together as living, breathing individuals, we don't have much of a chance, because we're letting too many people sit back and get rich off of designing things that predict your future for you. And not only do the computers is one side, and then there's other people broadcasting ideas that they want you to think your future is going to be, so you live in fear or you live in expectation of that outcome. We can change that by getting together and creating new visions for new outcomes. That should be understandable. I know it is. But do you have it in you? Do you have the love in your heart for your family, for your children, for your friends, for your community? Do you have the love in your heart to say things are that bad out there where we need the system to be gone? We need to start our own individual systems that we agree upon, and decide that if there are problems that need addressed, as it goes, we keep addressing them and we keep making it better and updated. Speaking of updated, do you know that when your phone updates, not only does it update you with information, it updates their database with your newest information, the things you've done, the information in which you've traveled, where you've gone. If you've got these apps that track your health and your stress levels, all they're doing is, they're updating their information base too. So it's like, and I'm not worried about that, because I myself am not worried about any privacy or not having surveillance on me. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. I'm trying to reach out to people and I'm being held back or blocked. Now, I'm just some schmo out of nowhere, so I don't expect to have 1 million billion views. And literally, I'm not a schmo out of nowhere. I'm just saying I don't have this popular name. I'm not meant to. The truth is not popular. Now, when I've said things like Daniel in the lion's den means Daniel in the den of denial, or Daniel in the den of liars, it's not necessarily liars. It's people that just want to push away the truth. Denial is pushing away of the truth. Daniel is accepting the truth. That's what it is if you live in the definition, the divine definition of the word Daniel. Just like if you live in the divine definition of the word Christ, you are the unseen or now constant or concept here that represents or references or rised, concept here, reference, identified, subjecting plus. Is that not what a Christ is? It's a concept here that rised. That's what it is. And I'm not saying it to sound funny. It's not just a play on words. We live a play on words. We're in living word. That's why I'm trying to teach it. I'm the only individual at this point in history who's ever experienced the real beginning of this real universe. Now, there's billions and zillions of stories about them, and zillion isn't a real word, but either way, you know what I'm trying to say. There's all these stories about this, and all about how the beginning was, and even the Big Bang, and none of them are right. Now, they can be facts in your head because you heard them and studied them. Now that you've studied them and you've heard this guy's story and all the details that they gave you, they're facts, right? No. I'm trying to tell you that everything in history has now changed because it's been distorted from its factual nature to now its fictional nature. And if we keep, I don't want to go too deep into that, but there are things that have happened, but the details are insignificant at this time. They don't matter anymore. What is mattering physically, mentally, spiritually, globally, is actually what we need to pay attention to now. I can't just dissolve myself into a space of bliss through meditation. I can, but now if I try to meditate, I get information, real visions on what's happening here. I don't live in a fake world anymore like most people. That's what people aren't understanding. This never goes away from me. And I don't speak it into existence because it happens if I say it. So I'm trying to say as much as I can from the bottom of my heart and keep it simple so that people can see that what I'm saying is true. Not because I want it to be, but because it is. So, long story short, this is crucial. We need somehow to find people who know that God is real and that there is a truth. Two different things, because God is real. Bam. And in this world, there is truth. There is a way that all of this works. There is a way that the universe corresponds with itself, whether or not we understand it. And I understand it. Now, I can't always put it in perfect words, and I don't always take perfect care of myself because I'm out here living in a dual world where I understand God and I have to act upon people who don't even know themselves. There's got to be a medium in which I speak and interact. So that's what I'm doing. And it's really hard because sometimes I have to come down to a mental or a actual level with people that is so simple and childish to me. Watching people come through and buy garbage or talk about how money runs their life or what's going on in television or what's going on in the world. Like this moment right now is what's happening for me. Those moments right now are what's happening for them. A lot of people are being harmed. If you're not there, what are you going to do about it? Now, if we didn't have these groups that do these things, they wouldn't be happening. If we wouldn't have let it get so bad, these things wouldn't be happening. Unfortunately, we've let them get this bad. Now, are there people over there trying to stop them and prevent them? Or are there people out there working with them, acting like they're trying to stop them and prevent them? From my own personal experience, I see that most people who care and want it to stop are too afraid to do anything. And most of the people who are out there doing something are making money off of causing it. Do you get that? There aren't many people out there risking their lives to do the right thing right now. There's people out there killing. And there's people out there losing their lives because the wrong thing is being allowed. And that wrong thing is what this comes down to. We need to not turn against, not whatever, and not against the individual people, one by one, but by the group itself, the government. Even technology has to be done with or take a huge step back, because if not, it's continuing to destroy us. And we need to understand this and face it. If we don't face it, what are we going to do? Cower up like little children and just wait until the end happens? Let's not do that. I beg you, in my human way to find within yourself the ability to care, please, for the future of all of us. Yes, there's more time to come. And you could watch this now and then go do something and forget everything about what I'm just saying right now. But keep this with you. Keep this knowing that something's got to be done and you're going to act rightly. Keep this within you. You can. At every moment of every day, it's possible. I do it. And I can teach you how. Not because I'm trying to say to you, come learn from me. But I don't know anyone else who has this ability to understand that. I put it in simple words. I'm not trying to fascinate you with science or any of that stuff. I'm just telling you the truth, which is more important than science. We can have all these inventions, but we don't need them. We can have all these cool gadgets and gadgets, but we don't need them. What I'm trying to show you is what is needed to be understood in a mental inner way so that we can repair this outer array of madness. I'm going to leave it at that because I could go on forever, but I don't know what it's going to take to get people to see that I'm not just some dude saying this stuff because it's fun. I'm going on 6 years of reaching out because I'm in the same moment every day with just a little bit of changing detail, knowing what's happening because I saw it all ahead of time. And it doesn't fascinate me. Someone will show me a news story. What about this guy? What about that guy? Oh, do you see this? This is it. You didn't know about this. Like, I've experienced everything. None of it fascinates me anymore. And it may make me seem like no fun. But until we fix the world out there where people can do things in the physical world together in a peaceful, harmless, or not so harmless way, some things are going to happen just by accident or by whatever. But until we can have that, there is no fun left to be had once you wake up to what is. You're watching people be treated like garbage and treat themselves like garbage and distract themselves from reality so that they can feel good about falseness. It's sad. And I care enough to try my best to put into words and to be vulnerable enough to look like a retard, and I don't mean that in any negative way, to someone who's just mentally slowed down to try to reach out like this. I know it looks vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable. Death is nothing to me. Life is valuable to me. And I'm trying to bring that back into each and every one of you. So, please, find it within yourself. I'm reaching out. Just answer the call. Contact me. Let's talk about things. It may not be comfortable, but somehow, we've got to come together. I'm here for you in every way I can possibly be. Until next time, God bless and peace.